Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 21 of the Epsilon Sun campaign. And with me, I have a wonderful cast of players who I hope I haven't given them the heebie jeebies, the bad juju from. In 9 plus 10 equals 21, yes indeed, of the last episode, and you can always watch the last episode with the highlights of the streams. But my lovely cast of players, we have Aurora, our fighter cleric. Say hello, Aurora.
Hello.
We have Karak, our resident turtle druid, who's not alone in the world.
Hello.
Loka, our barbarian monk, who is both angry yet calm at the same time.
Hey, I'm kind of alone.
Aww. We have Magrim, our resident wizard and punster. Say hello.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. It's time to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay,
Indeed. And
Nice.
we have Nissa, our warlock, and Soap is not going to help member of society. Say hi.
Hi, get in, loser. We're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
We're
Wow.
playing Dungeons and Dragons. Well, today we have Nissa as our resident recap specialist. Let's hit it. Let's go. Tell us what we learned last week.
Okay, so the episode started with us in the Undergust, a whole underground city beneath the one we know and well, some of us live in. We were met at the entrance of the Sorrows, which is a block of shanty dwellings or shanty houses. We were met by Alessandro.
Vitorin.
Sorry, yeah, it was just background noise
Oh, sorry.
from the toilet.
Okay. Sure.
Didn't want it to ruin the mood. Sorry.
I mean, it's kind
That's
of like
just in
appropriate
my
for the
mind.
sorrows.
Yeah, shanty dwellings.
Need shanty dwellings, yeah. There's running water, apparently.
So we were met by Alessandro Viturin, which is Aurora's father, and this caused Aurora to go into rage, and well, she was on the verge of basically punching him in the face. Fortunately, none of that happened, as she was held back by Nissa. It was then that Lokar took the opportunity to, step in and demand some answers regarding Melanda, which earned him a somewhat vague response from Alessandro on how Melanda must have made a mistake or slipped somehow to be caught and enslaved by the Templars. The party wasn't really happy with such an explanation or choice of words, so Alessandro said he would take responsibility for her death, which didn't really make things better either, but anyway. Aurora then spat some beautifully colored words at her dad about how his plan was basically fucking stupid. So he refused to speak with her or the party unless she acts like a civilized person, under the threat of disciplining her somehow. So the party, along with Jasper, what was his name? Neev, and Listen,
Yep.
was then sent on their way to the tavern, the Hollow Tankard, and were met on the way by a human, Gargle, yes,
Gargle.
who asked for their names. He said that people in the Sorrows aren't really fighters and they cannot fend for themselves, so Chandel, the sheriff of these parts, wants to be aware of who goes in and out. Some of the party gave them fake names, some others didn't, and then we went past him. Once we were inside the tavern, we saw that there were a few patrons, a few humans, and I think a tiefling, which looked somehow familiar to Carrick, I think it was.
Yep.
And there was also a turtle tavern keep, known as the Moor, I think. That's the only thing I remember. The Moor.
They always want more.
So,
This
well-
tagline.
I love it. The party had some drinks. It's some mysterious ale that looks like piss, but we'll take it. And some stew that's also apparently cooked with meat from unknown sources. Still, we'll take it because we were tired and hungry as fuck. We caught up with Carrick, who filled us in on everything that went down while we were back in the pits. Lokar also spoke about his former companions of Squadron Low during the war, and the NPCs, Neyev and Lisan, provided a bit more insight or information on both the elves and Takandrol and the way that he works. It is then that Aurora decided to step out with her whip to self-flagellate, but she was quickly stopped by Carrick's hold person, as well as slapped across the face by Nissa, because, girl, what the fuck? And Lokar also stepped in and helped, but he was kind of, more understanding of Aurora's emotional or mental situation. I think there were also some jokes from Magrim, but do correct me if I am wrong. Well, after we were done with dinner, basically, and Nisa had a short conversation with Jasper about how she was lucky to find such a group of people who helped her. Well, every step along the way, basically. And they also mentioned that they're pretty much alone, but at least they still have each other now that Lysandra's gone. The party decides to go back and speak to Alessandro instead of just resting for the night and postponing it any longer. Romilla, I think it was, greets them at the door, and while Aurora's in no mood for politeness, Nissa, of all people, things are really bad, along with Magrim, persuaded her to let them see Alessandro. Alessandro receives them again, and there was a huge lore dump in there. He mentioned the lady who shot the sunbeam at Kalek, and said that she is a former master of the 12 Sisters, one of the biggest or greatest magic schools in the world. I don't remember her name, the lady's name, but
Iririan.
Iririan, yeah. So she was a former master of that school. That school was known for making some type of magic known as chronomancy. He also mentioned that magic schools were popular during King Nidas's reign, since they kind of allowed weave users to be somewhat under control, or just to keep them under the radar, because King Nidas was very controlling of what they could learn and who could learn it. And then the conversation moved to General Callis's campaign on Absalom and how it basically came to be. Apparently he came out of nowhere, like exactly when it was needed, and didn't seem to do much of the actual fighting during the war. Alessandro describes the campaign as supernatural in nature, and says that on the final day of battle, when the skies darkened, Callis was suspiciously nowhere to be seen. And he added that the fact that Callis seems to have forgotten about Gerst and Epsilon in general doesn't seem like harmless forgetfulness, that he just forgot, but something that's probably done on purpose. So something might be cooking up in the capital of Absalom. And also he said that magic users are still being controlled through the groups that roam the desert, the purifiers.
Purifiers.
Yeah.
I would say that the known roaming groups from the days of Nidus still remain wandering amongst Epsilon.
So Callis has kept that somehow.
Or
Right.
hasn't removed it, rather than kept it. You
Yeah.
don't know one way or another if he kept it or removed it, but they still exist for one reason or another.
He has allowed them to just keep existing.
Right.
It looks like. Okay. They also talk about Tithian and his upcoming reign. He is a Templar who was converted somehow to the VA by Malanda, who was clearly one of the Alliance's best agents. She basically made sure that his views aligned with the VA's so that the people of Gerst would hopefully be free of tyrants once he took the crown. Eventually. And then Nisa questioned Alessandro on the corruption that they encountered down in the mines, and he seemed kind of confused by the term corruption. She showed him her wound, and he looked taken aback. Like, apparently he's seen something like it before or heard about something like that before. And there are whispers of a cure to the north, but nothing's like 100% sure. Well, the only thing that we know for sure is that people who suffer it end up dead one way or another. So Nissa went into kind of a panicked frenzy, and Magrim as well.
Cancer.
But they were.
We have magical cancer.
Oh, shut up! No. No.
No, you and me, Mag, don't have magical cancer. The rest
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Magrim doesn't.
No,
Wasn't affected.
Lokar,
by it.
Karak, and Nissa.
Yeah. But, well, they were quickly reassured by the rest of the party that they will find a way to cure it. And finally, Alessandro gave Aurora the family sword and told her to complete some sort of ritual for the passing of the sword at midnight so that she could wield it. And he also told her about the rest of the family and how they're in danger. And Alabaster is doing all he can to keep them safe, but they obviously need help getting out of the city. So hopefully the party will assist with that. And he mentioned that they must retrieve the Viturians and take them to a family friend's estate. And the friend is Baron Venus Tide, something like that. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. But I used Spiker's notes for this part.
Yeah, Venus type.
And I think that's all.
Damn.
Teacher, I have a thing to add.
Okay.
Yes.
Alabaster was supposed to be protecting the Viturians. And from what our knowledge, he also went into the mines. We fear that he may have been corrupted like some of our party members.
True.
That is all.
Yeah, and I guess
that's
I
all.
asked for information about my past, and he was saying he would look into it and tell us when we get there.
Oh yeah, you mentioned
Mhm.
the crypt and the blood.
Yeah.
It was a lot, okay? I did my best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Rapid fire lore.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Yes, that was it was a heckin' episode, and I have a lot of like sort of bullet points here. So I'm just gonna quickly run through them, or just to make sure we got everything covered. So I have broken it down a little bit on each individual. Before we get started and come back into the episode, let's just quickly do a double check, because lore is important in this game. So
Yes.
we begin. Hold on. I think I've got that here. Okay, so Aurora. We begin with Aurora. Aurora had an argument with her dad, went to drink it off, released Nahav from his oath, as Aurora considered it complete. Then she did do the self-harm with the whipping as a way of worship, question mark, we just don't know, of which Magrim provided some insight into the religion of Ilmater, and that perplexed or interested Aurora. Then you guys went back to speak to Dad and learned of what faces the world, and dropping all those lore bombs that rocked Aurora to her core, question mark, and learned that Doreen planned on killing Aurora in the name of the Order, with the group of orcs that were foreign to her, and the group that she went out into the warrens that day when you were all captured. Alabaster had preventative measures in place to enchant his helmet to protect his severance from Kalik, but sounds like he could possibly be unwell. And Aurora reminds the party that her oath to save the children from the mine still exists, including Ida, who was taken away for quote-unquote investigations. And Alessandro mentioned that Alabaster brought back the children, but does not know where. And Alabaster is indeed protecting the family, the mother and son of Aurora, but can only do so for a a few days, as the chaos wrecks through the city. Nissa had a relatively low impact, not low impact, more like not so many things happening to her, except for the fact that you reconnected with Jasper. Yay! Flame of the Warrens, and learned you were going to die unless a cure is found. So, whilst there are only a couple of things, significant things, Karik also learned he was going to die, and he did cast a hold person on Aurora to stop her from her quote-unquote worship. He also met the Maw and learned he wasn't the only turtle in the world, or at least within the city walls, and learned that the group of hunters that hunt his people are called the Purifiers, a paladin group sent from Upsilon and are still roaming Epsilon, despite Nidus being killed for one reason or another. Magrim helped Aurora see that Ilmater is more of compassion, to ease other suffering instead of self-punishment, as a way to mimic Ilmater, and that conversation sort of ended kind of abruptly, with Aurora just allowing it to end, and also thought that Kalik, or came up with the hypothetical theory, or the theory, let's say, that Kalik could be a lich, and that Alessandro should look into that, because is Kalik really dead? Lokar, actually, he was the guy that named the roaming disease, the corruption, to Alessandro, who sent it out through his network, and therefore the naming convention of this disease has therefore received its owner. He looked to blame Alessandro for the death of Melandra, who's very upset that the Veiled Alliance couldn't save her, and that Alessandro will indeed look into his crypt history. From Melanda's perspective, her being in the slave pens were a mistake on her behalf, according to Alessandro. Alessandro did indeed say that he takes responsibility for her death and do everything he can to recover her body, despite the fact that you mentioned that perhaps that could not be done because she could be added to some sort of stew. Then a point on this, and it's very difficult, not on specifically on the body part. He did mention something called the Eye of the Templars was upon her, which is why she couldn't be rescued. Now, when I said that, I intended the Eye of the Templars to be in quotation marks, but you can't hear that. So, the Eye...
No Eye of Aaron. Damn.
No, the Eye of the Templars, capital E, the Eye of the Templars was upon her, which is why she couldn't be rescued. So that might have gone over your heads a little bit, so just clarifying that.
That's easy to go over the head, yeah.
I guess. Yes, indeed. Big white sheet guy is called the Eye.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Naming.
Dun, dun, dun.
That weirdo, no, the tosser, as Nisa called them.
Yes, White guy has a lame name. The Eye. Well, you will have to say that to his face. Or her face. Or their face. You don't know.
Ooh.
And just a little bit of the brow. He just has one eyebrow.
Together than the eyebrow.
A couple of details on the Veiled Alliance. So the Veiled Alliance have been around for 16 years, and they couldn't extract the V-Turns before the riots began, otherwise provoke suspicion to Alessandro. Kalik found blood magic to do. It's actually 3 gazers in his trench coat. Thank you for that, Hemo. Writing that down. Kalik found blood magic to raise himself to quote-unquote godhood, whatever that meant to Alessandro, he wasn't quite sure. They do not know how or where he came upon such information or arcane ability. He did not think that Kalik had a backup plan when he mentioned whether or not he was undead or a lich. And Aririon was indeed introduced as the creator of chronomancy, and Tithian doesn't work for the Veiled Alliance, but made a deal with them. Have I forgotten anything?
Yes.
Okay.
You look handsome.
What?
You forgot to say that you are a great DM.
Ah.
Oh,
Warm, fuzzy feelings. Thank you so much. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to bring you back to where you are.
I've got a lot of things. Do I still get the inspiration? It's okay.
You
if I
do.
don't.
You do. Yes, you do.
It's 5 inspirations.
It's okay if I don't. Just, you know.
You did great. Why would you get it?
I know I do. Consciousness in Witcher.
As Alessandro steps back through the archway, after giving you as much information as your brains can handle, and leaving you on the bombshell that this now labeled disease known as the corruption has yielded, in his experience, certain death for those afflicted with it. You are left with a very sour taste in your mouth. At least for those who have such an affliction. What a day. What a day indeed. A day that started in the pens for most of you, with the city alive with excitement for a day of games and a promise of freedom, followed by an assassination which brought chaos and curiosity. Kalik was impaled by a magical spear thrown by the gladiator champion Takandrel whilst being distracted by spells and traitors amongst him. But is he really gone? We can only but speculate, for our illustrious survivors needed to flee the murder and mayhem around them. To a waiting guide to take you to the sorrows within Undergirst, to lay low, to stay alive, to let the city bleed itself into stability. Then a tirade of information from a parent. A plan, although imperfect, was achieved. And information about your condition revealed. And here you stand, the hours of the day drifting, and your muscles telling you it will be soon time to rest. The sorrows is silent and unsettling. You look around to the various shacks down in the Valley of the Sorrows. You see movements within various shacks lit by candlelight and torchlight before being extinguished. The continuous stench of rot and decay. Clouds around the cavern where the Sorrows have been built. And you stand with no plan, as yet. What would you like to do?
I think Lokar cracks his head a little bit and then says, well, seems like your father doesn't have any place for us to sleep, so we have to make our own. And starts moving back down to the burrows.
Okay.
The barkeep did say we could just kind of make our own place. So
Oh yeah, I wasn't thinking about asking for permission.
Loka, will you help me retrieve my family tomorrow?
Well, he told me he will tell me what's happened to me when we get to the estate, so he probably will be more willing to tell me if I have your family with you, so I'll help you.
And my chances of success are significantly higher. Thank you.
Gives you a slight head nod and a slight smile. You're welcome.
So we're going there now?
Well, we
Pretty
should
sure
sleep
only
first.
me and Loka could actually do a fight right now. The rest of you look exhausted.
Feeling
Huh?
a bit nauseous. So maybe it's better to get some rest.
You're free to
Sleep
decline,
faster.
of course, but I would ask the rest of you to help me.
Well,
I mean, I didn't just try to get you guys out of the pens for nothing. I plan on sticking with you, so I'm in.
I'd rather help you, Aurora, than stay around this place. Besides, you still don't see me as a friend. I plan to fix that.
Let's find somewhere comfortable to sleep and throw out whatever rats have made it a nest.
Let's start with somewhere we can sleep. I think the comfortable will be unlikely.
yeah, these doesn't look very welcoming. But did they say we can just maybe squat
Well-
wherever?
Yeah, you look for a good abandoned house and sleep there.
So whoever
shit.
is wishing to look for such a house, obviously you're maybe collectively doing it, so you either can individually roll survival, or you can appoint someone as the person who is doing the survival, and you're equally helping that person by saying, what about this? What about that one?
I'll do it with advantage if no one is.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Karik.
I'm gonna assist Carrick.
Me too.
Karik, who doesn't need a home to sleep in, will be doing the survival.
Well, shelter is still
Well, he
a
knows
thing.
exactly what to look for. He carries one
Yeah.
around for reference.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a giant turtle shell.
He's a professional. Get the perfect man
This
for the
is
job.
something that we could guidance. So he should.
Yeah, you can totally guidance this if you wanted to add the D4. Neat.
Neat.
Uh, 15.
Exactly what you need.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm
You
just
walk
looking
ar-
for something like. Sorry. To specify that I'm not looking for a turtle shell, obviously.
Yeah, unfortunately, you
there's
don't
something,
find
something. I mean, I guess we're in a cave, right? So even a full roof isn't really necessary. Just big enough with open space in the floor for all of us to lay down.
This is true.
Beds, if you find them.
you are unsure about the nature of sleeping underground, for sure. You've never done it. In fact,
Yeah.
you look up to the cavernous ceiling, or the cavernous canopy, shall we say. And whilst it is dotted with these specks of dim light that seem to be emanating this glow that allows the sorrows to be bathed in this brownish red light, as you can see on the map. They are not stars. In fact, you look instinctively to where you think a constellation should be at this time, and you are met with just dark rock. First time underground, presumably. And finding your way, certainly less accurate, shall we say. You wander past the hollow tankard, and you see Jasper and Listen within there, still having a drink and talking. You see Nissa. You peek your head in through the open doorway as you pass by, and you can see that Jasper has got his posture. You've seen this posture many a time. His charismatic swagger, as he seems to be putting on some sort of moves with this barbarian gladiator, Listen, who is heavily drinking whilst he speaks. Nahav, as you come past the hollow tankard, mentions, or says to you all, says, "Thank you for the opportunity to visit with your father once more and to learn of these instances that this Veiled Alliance has attempted to try and do. I appreciate the opportunity that you have given me to allow me to learn from more of my people. I would like to offer, as ways as I can, a belated apology for my actions within the pens. It was not my way. It is not my people's way. It is merely a survival technique, and after being in those pens for weeks, with only death as a certainty, I fear my actions and words came across harder than they could have been. I hope you will forgive my callousness, but in light of losing all of those that I traveled to Gus with, and I intend to go home, I will have to carry their lost souls on my shoulders.
I hold no grievances against you, Nahav. Mrs. Gast, we do what we must, because this country sucks.
The person you wanted to take the rations from on their first day in the pens is the one that rescued you. I'm sure you can learn from this, sir.
Nahav has done nothing wrong.
I understand. But I think there's some convoluted lesson in all of this.
I have learned
Like you,
much.
but you're not.
Go ahead.
I don't like you, but I don't think you're looking for my thoughts. So
I'll just go ahead and say that it's lucky that you all can see the good side of all of this, because I still very much hold a grudge. They tried to kill us, and
yeah,
it's
he ratted you out, if you remember.
Remember, Nisa, I was very happily going to kill at least half of you.
Oh yeah, and I don't like you either.
Fair enough.
But it's different. It's they tried to murder us in the middle of the night when we were, defenseless, and I don't know.
It is efficient.
Not that I was. Not I'm looking for an excuse for my behavior, but when the balance of people within the pens shifted after your entrance, the Rokshi became very paranoid that outnumbering us, especially with one as big as this one, and he points towards Lokar, our survival could potentially be at risk. So we did what we could, at least what we thought was best for our survival, to thin the numbers out. This happened countless times, back and forth, with those on the east and those on the west. It is how the slave pens operate, and
I'm sure.
whilst, like I said, it's not an excuse, it is a matter of fact. Balance. Keep the balance, no matter the cost.
I don't really care. But Aurora kept you alive, so there's that.
She must have had good reasons, so I respect that.
He is a good
Moral
man.
nonetheless.
And good men don't deserve to die until they serve their countries.
Know this.
He's an elf.
A mare.
Should it come that you find yourself over in Elvenhelm, or even the Jade Vale, for whatever reason, and should I survive to get myself back there, you have a friend that will shelter you. My family has some influence, and I hope
So,
that one day we may meet again.
I do too. I hope that debt is not one you have to repay.
This debt
It's
I...
possible
Go
you
ahead.
could go with my father to get out of the city. I'm sure the VA has some way out of this underground. But
I'm
after
sure.
that, I have no way to assist you further.
Thank you, but I have some ways of my own. In the chaos, who knows what can happen, and I will do my best to find some others within the Elven market, or perhaps the Elven Bridge, to help me out. It sounds like you've got other things to deal with here, and whilst I wish to pay back my debt to you, fewer people for your next mission sounds more plausible for success.
You owe me no debts, Nahaf.
I keep running in and dying. I don't think you're gonna be much of help.
He sours his face to you, Lokar, and says to the rest of you, "Good luck in your endeavors." And turns to go into the hollowed tankard.
I sincerely hope he lives.
Before he goes, before he steps into the hollow tankard, can Nisa have a quick word?
Yeah, you can catch him as he's going into through the doorway, for sure.
She just steps a little bit closer and goes, "I've been meaning to ask a question. You wouldn't happen to know an elf that goes by the name Sylvan, would you?"
What do you want of Sylvan?
Just to know if you know her.
I have heard of her, yes.
May I know what have you heard? I mean, good things, bad things, mad things.
I do not know of any stories of Sylvan. My knowledge of her is limited.
Mhm.
Do you wish to seek her out, or
Not particularly. It's just that we've met a couple of times, but not properly. And it's basically answers that I seek, nothing more. I don't want to hurt her or anything. It's just I want to know what her deal is.
she is a
So-
traveler, as far as I'm aware.
Mm-hmm.
She is known to acquire things that perhaps we might need. As far as my information goes, she is not from this area.
Yeah, that much I gathered.
She comes from a family that is taboo is the word, I think, in common.
Yeah.
Her
Why is
family and her house are, let's just put it, they are a resource that should you need a certain person gone, a certain object acquired, a piece of information perhaps, and you have the coin to pay them.
Do they operate in Elvenhelm only, or do they have they extended their business?
That I cannot give you information on. I'm unaware about where they operate, other than the fact that there is a house within Elvenhelm that operates under her house. Her house name.
Okay. So, do you think she might still be in Gerst after all that happened, or maybe she could have fled, right?
Again, I am unaware. She may still be within the boundaries of Gerst. She may have even been involved in what happened here. I have not really thought about her, but removing a king sorcerer from power certainly sounds like her house's objective, if they were paid as much.
Yeah, now that you mention it, it does make sense. Right. Thank you, Lev.
If you wish to seek such a person out, then I would recommend you do so with caution. There is a place within Elvenbridge, a squalor of a tavern run by a goblin. He has a very distinct way about himself, as does the smell of his tavern. A lot of shady dealings go down there. If you wish to seek her out, or their house for that matter, speak to the tavern owner.
I will. I think I know which tavern you mean. I'll keep that in mind.
He nods and raises an eyebrow, like asking whether or not you have any other questions.
Oh, no, she just gives a light shake of her head and follows the group.
He nods a single nod and then heads further. And unless anyone wants to do anything further at the Hollow Tavern. Hollow Tavern.
Tankard.
Oh, Tankard Tavern.
Why the hell?
Schmallow Schmeinkard.
The Schmallow Schmankard, the Hollow Tankard. You continue moving on, looking for a accommodation that doesn't seem to be falling apart and could potentially service your needs of.
No.
What?
Sorry. Go on.
Service your needs for your size and let's see here. You climb the first tier, and coming up the stairs, this house on the right here seems to be of a suitable size that doesn't seem to be falling apart too much. And as you step through the half-rotted wooden door, let me take you there.
Ooh.
Hey, there's beds.
I can't see it yet.
Wow.
This would cost $1 million to rent.
There is a bit of a description here. You step through the half-rotted wooden door, its hinges creaking in protest as it swings inward, revealing a dimly lit and desolate interior. The scent of stale air, faintly tinged with the sourness of abandonment, hangs heavily in the small, cramped space. The house is barely more than a single room with a rickety mezzanine level above, likely meant to serve as sleeping quarters. The walls are cracked, and their faded plaster peeling away to reveal ancient stone beneath, and the oppressive sense of neglect permeates every corner. In the back of the room, a small kitchen area is tucked into a nook, little more than a rickety iron stove and chipped stone basin, and the hearth is cold, its ashes long settled into a fine grey dust. Dishes are scattered across the chipped counter, some cracked, others stained from meals long past. A single pot remains on the stove, its contents turned to rot, and utensils hang loosely from rusted hooks. The kitchen feels frozen in time, as if whoever lived here left in haste, abandoning their home to the decay. One second. Bit loud. To the left, an old sagging sofa sits beneath a small window, its legs warped and uneven, cluttered with remnants of a life once lived, scraps of cloth, a child's doll missing an arm, a rusted lantern whose flames have long since been extinguished, lies beneath. There is a heavy, hollow silence in this place, as if the room itself mourns the absence of those who once called it home. Above, a mezzanine juts out precariously from the wall, supported by makeshift beams and frayed ropes. Barely seems stable, its floor littered with haphazard arranged bedding, thin, moth-eaten blankets, and lumpy sacks of straw that once served as mattresses. The beds are clearly meant for a family, of various size, but there is no warmth left in the arrangement, no sign of recent use. A child's small wooden toy lies half buried in one of the blankets, forgotten in a rush to leave. On the walls, faint reminders of the family that lived here still linger. A faded, crumpled painting hangs crookedly, its edges torn, depicting a small family standing in front of a crude building, their faces indistinct, but their postures filled with warmth and pride. Nearby, a few scrawled drawings, likely from a child's hand, are pinned to the wall with brittle nails. They show stick figures holding hands, with what could be a sun shining overhead and a cave in the background. The images are innocent, yet heartbreaking in their simplicity. Stark evidence of the life that was once here. Everything in this house feels eerily undisturbed, as though the family left in a hurry, never to return. There are no signs of struggle, no traces of a violent departure, only the quiet, haunting sense of abandonment. The house feels like a graveyard of forgotten memories, where the echoes of laughter, conversations, and wants are now little more than ghosts in the chill, empty air.
Alright, let's get our watchers. Sit down.
I'll take first. I have to see my father at midnight anyway.
Oh yeah, right. To earn the sword or something.
Do we actually have to keep watch? Like, it looks real late.
You know where we are. Probably have more money than most people in this place.
Vigilance is not something we should be idle on, Nisa.
I was just wondering, like, I'm not opposed to it, but it was a genuine question more than.
It could be robbed. Could also other needs. Maybe some drunken people come in here wanting to sleep here. We need to shoo them away. These kind of things, you know.
Yeah, that sounds more likely.
Hmm.
I get it. Just let me know which watch I should take. Which watch?
Which watch?
Which one? Where's...
You're welcome to move your tokens. Go about the space. Okay.
3. 20-foot cube. Would a 20
How many?
cube...
We have 3 beds, right?
There's a number of makeshift beds and mattresses, enough for 5 on the mezzanine floor.
Convenient.
Yeah, but they're of different
It's like,
sizes.
no.
So, like, there's some 3 of them are children sizes. One of them seems to be of the size of a teenager, and one which is slightly larger than that, but not fit for accommodating more than 3 people. More than 2 people.
I see.
I mean, this is what the survival role was. Like, you found a suitable house.
Yep. Oh, obviously, yeah.
Obviously. Good job, Karik.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
job.
Nice.
Not a turtle shell, but it'll do.
Okay.
Would a 20-foot cube be enough to cast alarm over like the entrances of this house?
So there is only one entrance. The art that I've done is just like it's cut away the front. So imagine that it still has the front. It's not just like this open
Yeah.
space, right? And you have a door.
Just so we can look in.
Exactly so. Like I tried this artwork out last week and I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, but still, like, he probably wants to do it around, so maybe through the windows or something. No one can get through the windows. It probably
yeah.
fits. It probably fits once around the room, I assume.
No. The room is larger than a 20-foot cube. 20-foot cube is like 20-foot cube. Let's see here. Is 4 feet wide. Right?
It's an apartment in UK. Yeah.
Wow.
In
20
central,
foot
in
cube.
central
Oh, it was
London.
20-foot
20.
cube. Yeah, it's not like it's not like foot squared, right? It's like 20 foot on one side.
Yeah, 20 foot
Oh,
wide.
yeah, then for
20
sure.
foot
Yeah,
tall,
yeah,
20 foot
yeah, absolutely. It can go around the inner part of the building for sure.
Awesome. If anything, he'll just virtually cast alarm again, so that
Okay. With
sides
audible or
are-
mental?
Audible. so that everyone can hear it.
Okay. Okay.
Nice.
It's like a convenience store bell. Pling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Okay,
Yep.
well, okay. The night is yours to rest in. You found a suitable abode, and Aurora has said that she will take first watch. The the night is still early, relatively. It's not immediately time to sleep unless you choose to. Choice is yours. You are safe.
I mean, Lokars doesn't really see any reason in staying up, so he's just gonna find a suitable bed for him and lay down and say, I'm gonna take the third watch, I guess. Or whenever you want to wake me up, wake me up.
Maybe we should agree on a certain order for the watch.
Sure, let me do that. So, Aurora, Karik, me, Magrim, Nissa. There we go.
Can I go after Carrick?
Sure.
Awesome.
So, Aurora, Karik, Magrim, me, Nissa.
Okay.
Good night, guys.
Good night, Luca.
Good night. Sweet dreams.
I won't have that.
Oh, right. My bad. Right.
No worries.
Well, dreams.
No, let's have no dreams. Let's push me for no dreams, alright?
Okay, sleep. Sleep. How about that?
Don't
Okay.
let the bedbugs bite. or anything else for that matter.
A roll for big
My
bugs.
skin.
Okay.
We still have some time before the resting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Can Magrum check the stove to see if if like there's some wood that is still in it that we can use?
The stove.
Like
All
around here.
the stove in the corner here. Like the heating stove or like the cooking stove?
Like for cooking food.
Okay, so I mean, there's just like a sort of stove there with like a, like the square at the bottom is for like putting wood in, and the stove itself has but fine gray dust of ashes long settled.
Okay.
Are you planning to cook?
Well, I mean, I had a couple ideas of preparing a meal. I still have at least one point of ration still from the wine, I believe. I was wondering if I could use this fine stove here. Do you have any uses for it?
Well, I'm not a great cook, but I could help if you need help.
Well, if you could get logs or any wood for the stove while I use spells to clean this pot.
Sure.
Magam will use prestidigitation to clean the cooking utensils.
Mm-hmm.
And I will look around the house maybe for any wood that could be used for the stove.
Yeah, do a quick investigation for that one.
I think I'm gonna slink over to wherever Karik is and in his little shell and like sit on my knees next to him and just kind of whisper, "How ignorant do you think Nisa is about Mag?"
What are you talking
Really into her.
about? And I still don't know what you're talking about.
Relationship, Turtle.
Oh, you think?
I
I didn't
it's
see anything that said so.
kind of obvious, isn't it? Maybe it's a woman's intuition.
I hadn't noticed anything.
You haven't noticed the way he looks at her like 24/7.
I mean, he kind of looks at everybody all the time. I don't know. Completely clueless.
You're talking to a Starcaller turtle that wanders the desert. Like, let's talk about like complex relationships to a nomad tribe.
Yeah. Completely clueless.
I think Aurora just chuckles at the irony of the situation. I didn't get to say so before, but thank you for coming back. It's not something I actually expected you to do.
What else was I supposed to do? I don't know anybody here.
Flee,
I mean-
run away, survive. What most people do.
Well, I don't know. It didn't seem like the right thing to do. Just leave you guys.
That morality will be the death of both of us, but it does make us good people. Still,
Mark just kind of looks up. I miss the stars.
if we actually survive and get to the estate, it's a wonderful little oasis. Rich gardens that he can snuff the lamps out and see all the way beyond the horizon.
That sounds amazing.
Probably the only nice place in the fucking country.
So we're going there tomorrow?
Hopefully. If we don't die because we're idiots and going back into the city that's in the middle of a civil war.
Well, maybe by the time we get up there, it'll be finished, and they'll know who's in charge, and everything will be back to just normal, good, right?
Roar just kind of stares back at Kark.
You will recall that Jasper mentioned that the city is likely to be like in chaos for a day until lay low, but it's your choice in terms of what you wish to do.
It's going to be bad. Very bad. But the longer we wait, the more danger it poses to everyone. Chaos can be useful as debilitating.
I think we saw that firsthand today.
Unfortunately.
Okay. Nissa finds furniture for you, Mag.
Yeah, she carries a few pieces of broken wood and puts them down in front of the stove and dusts off her hands and in her trousers, and then sighs and goes, I heard you, you know? When the...
I speak a lot. Can you be specific?
Yeah. I figured you'd say,
You know me.
when that creature with tentacles in the arena, when it struck me down and I fell, and you said, don't you dare hurt my Nissa. I heard it. Did you mean anything by it?
I was afraid I would lose you. Like, that I would not be able to pick you up again.
It's just I No.
only ever manifested the celestial suns behind me a handful of times. And it's only recently I have gotten to realizing that everything within me gets amplified. My spells, my strikes, and I suppose my emotions as well. I think you heard something that was within me.
just
I understand if such things are better kept to myself. I understand.
I mean, I don't know how to say this, Mag, but I'm not pushing you away. But I've never encountered. You can see that she kind of struggles to find the appropriate words, and she goes, I've never encountered anyone like you. Like, all my life I've been surrounded by, all sorts of people, but none of them have ever been or behaved like you. And I guess what I'm really trying to say is that I have never had anyone that cares for me in the way that you do. And that makes me feel confused, because I've never been in such a situation.
Me too.
I sound dumb, don't I? But you get it, right?
It doesn't matter how a person sounds if they have read 1,000 books or just 2. As long as you have confidence behind it, there are things that you just say and people will believe you. And I understand what you say and I believe you.
I mean,
I'm glad to be the first person on that list.
and I'm glad. I'm glad that you feel that way about me. But I guess I just wanted also to ask you to maybe be patient, because I don't really know how I feel about this whole thing. With everything that's been going on, it's all been a huge mess.
I understand.
Still, I wanted to thank you for, looking out for me and, well, everybody else as well, but,
We have a saying in Celestial. It's about kindred spirits. I think in Infernal it's more akin to slavery, that kind of word. But I think with all this whole situation, all of us are, and he will say the word both in Celestial and in Infernal, bound together. And I am happy to say that I have been bound with you on. With you, with Carrick, Aurora, Lokar. But I'm happy that I met you. I understand that over the course of week. So hard to get to know someone.
Yeah.
And reading a well-written book takes time.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Now, you want to cook this mystery steak now?
Sure. Yeah.
Awesome. What do I need to roll for to be a terrible cook, Mr. DM?
What are you cooking?
It's a ration from the mine.
I mean,
From
it's
the
certain
mine.
from the mine. It will be like really dried meat and some like preserved dried fruits and nuts. So it's not a steak by any sense of the word. To warm it up.
Yeah. Let's just heat it up and use prestidigitation. Give it some flavor.
I mean, I did
Oh.
have burning hands, but
I mean, yeah. First, you need to get fire to be able to light it.
Oh yeah, Magrin will put the logs into the stove after finishing the conversation, and use prestidigitation to light them on fire.
Prestidigitation gives a
I uphold the feather for that.
Sorry.
Oh, it's good.
Just prestidigitation give fire. I don't think it did.
I
You
think
instantly
Firebolt
light or
also
snuff
does.
out a candle or torch.
Hey.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, you can light
Okay.
a small campfire for sure.
I was about to say I could just produce flame. Like
Yeah,
I
no,
can
for sure.
solve
Like,
all of
I was
these.
just like curious because like prestidigitation feels like you can do everything. I was just making sure.
It's a little bit of everything. It's the
okay. Yeah, yeah.
do it all and do nothing cantrip.
You sort of like put the broken furniture, which is kind of like lacquered a little bit, and even though it's rotted and very dry, it takes a bit to get it started. And you click your fingers like you're lighting a cigarette lighter, like, and it doesn't take immediately, but you get to work with it. So let's do a just a survival for your whole process here. As you
God.
certainly get the fire lit, but you look at these. Wow, you look at
Let's
these
go.
rations and you think about how the elves have managed to like rehydrate rations, and
Yes,
you
he
sort
read
of,
about this.
yeah, for sure, and you actually apply your grandmother's recipe.
Absolutely.
And you crumble up some of the fruits and some of the nuts and turn them more into like a garnish as opposed to just like clumps of rations. And with your clean utensils, with a 21, you manage to sort of carve one of the larger nuts into a flower blossom as you put it on this rehydrated jerky. And for the first time in a long time, this shack has sweet smells coming from it. And as you like start playing with it and you remember just like how the smells and taste should be, you taste a little bit here, a little bit there. You don't need to use prestidigitation to flavor it. You've managed to turn rations into actually digestible food. And collectively, I mean, I don't know, Lokar at the top there, you just like, either you're awake or you're not, but your stomach like responds to the cooking that is now coming out of this slightly more clean kitchen. And
He's just dozing a bit, like he's having his eyes closed and laying down resting, but not like actually sleeping right now, probably
You're just
because
thinking.
a lot of things are still going on.
Sure. Collectively, your stomachs make these like rumbling sounds as Magrim works up a storm within the kitchen, showing his prowess, and the smells, and short of maybe like Nissa and Aurora, when they have been within Elven Bridge at a certain festival period for the elves, these smells have never really permeated. It's unique.
Yeah, Carrick, Aurora, so grab a bite. I made this for everyone. This should be at least a little bit.
Huh?
Yeah, don't act all over the place.
What? Food is made to be shared.
Nisa just,
Smells really good.
grabs the plate and hands it to Aurora with a knowing look.
I said nothing.
Oh, I get it. She knows you were listening to what they were saying. See, I told you it would seem rude.
Not rude. We just didn't have popcorn.
Would you like some food, Carrig?
Yes,
well?
It smells really good. Please.
Just gives him a plate as well. I don't know about you.
Delicious.
Even after the stew at the tavern, my tummy's still rumbling.
I'm afraid to eat too much at this point.
In case you get sleepy.
No, in case I get sick for not eating the past like 2 weeks. Feels like
Yeah, I don't know how you manage that.
really high constitution.
Okay.
Well, in Fairland there's a saying about this, something about appetite or whatever, so please. Anyway, Carrick, you traveled the deserts for a while, right?
Most of my life, yes.
Is this like your... How many caves are out there in the desert? Is this like your third now? As he's saying this, he's using Mage Hand to pick up the meat so that he can eat it, while he can also still gesture with his hand.
I would imagine there probably was at least a couple times cave. So it's not my first cave, but I haven't been in many. This is definitely probably the biggest cave I've been in.
How many exits does usually a cave have? I imagine if we came in from over there, if we go that direction, he points like away. Would we be able to like get somewhere else?
I don't know. Maybe. I've been in small caves that just had one entrance to like get out of a sandstorm or something like that, but nothing like this. This is new to me. This is almost as confusing as the mine.
I mean, caves are usually made by what? Water? Running? Supposed to go to the ocean, right?
Makes sense to me, I guess.
I'll tell you what, I'd much rather be in this cave rather than the one in the mine.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that
for
was
sure.
fun. So much.
Oh, I still remember there was this voice that was calling out to me, telling me that it's gonna give me all of the knowledge of the world. And I was like, no.
That happened in the cave?
Yeah. That was awful. They know my name too. Somehow.
I still believe there was, some kind of otherworldly force operating in the mines. There must have been. Maybe some sort of portal was opened.
Yeah, that's what I want to know about. Not a day's walk from Gerst, there's a portal the Lord knows where, and aliens are on the other side.
Alien.
They could just be elves.
Or elementals.
I don't know which one's worse. Elementals or elves?
I'll tell you.
I can't.
Elves.
I don't speak elemental that well, so I think those for me. Yeah, Aurora. About your divine magics, right?
Hmm.
So you're not connected to the necromancer. So you must have been made your connection with Ilmater then, right?
I suppose that's true. I ask and I receive.
I was always curious to know more of his teaching. What was the allies of Ilmater? And why did he become the god of suffering?
There's Tyr, the maimed god, god of justice, and Torm, god of loyalty and duty.
Right.
They are united, the strongest gods in all of history, at least theoretically. As to why Ilmater is the broken god, because he loves the world. And I am not a particularly good cleric, or of his teachings I can admit such as a fault. But
He grants you power. You must be of great standing to him, at least.
his desire is for us to all give the cruelty of the world unto him, so that he may take sin and pain, suffering away from us. To that end, we are to aid him in his mission to relieve such things. Usually they pity him, or scorn him. But in the truth, he is perhaps the most powerful god ever known. For what other divine could take such punishment and still be standing?
Bane?
Perhaps.
Bane?
Evil guy. Don't worry about it.
Evil guy or evil god? Because I've heard him mentioned.
I won't take him out for a cup of tea. Tell you what.
He's the god of tyranny and oppression.
Oh, very fitting. For the city, I mean.
You would think there would be more Baneites here, but they are few. The most common worship is Kalik and Callus, who are arguably divine, perhaps.
Do you think that maybe Bane granted them powers somehow? For them to rule over all these places?
Why? I mean,
What do you
he
mean?
could, but the answer is why. Gest is already a miserable place. It adds little to add more to it. Oppresses itself. Oh. I suppose there is some truth to what you mentioned.
The night wears on. The smells of Magrim's elven cooking dissipate and are replaced with the same familiar smell of rot and mildew. Despite Magrim, you trying to find the source of this smell, it seems like this building has somehow marinated in this smell for so long that it is of this smell. And despite you trying to make it easier for everyone with prestidigitation, it isn't long before that smell is back, overwhelmed once more, and you just have to get on with it. Yet, you have set up your alarm spell, and Aurora has mentioned that she has other duties this evening and to go out at midnight. Her watch ends more or less at midnight, so does anyone want to? Sorry?
Yeah, I was pretty sure I was kicking Karkwick.
Well, I just want to say before we move on to that, does anyone want to have other conversations for this night after a long day of facts and stuff? Because there's obviously nighttime shenanigans for most people.
Magrim will write mathematical equations within the dirt of the house as he falls asleep.
Okay. Just for fun?
He finds it calming.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask, can Nisa have a maybe ruffle through the, I don't know, the belongings that are left in the house to see if maybe she can find a book, like any book, just something to read?
Roll me investigation. You search thoroughly through the house, and you realize that despite your intention, books within Gerst are a rarity at best, with the majority of the people within this city being completely illiterate and to you barely any better. Books are not a commonplace within the best places, and you are not within the best place. You do not find any books.
She just huffs, like dejected.
However,
Ed.
you do come across a few scroll drawings drawn out of charcoal on some very kind of filthy parchment from a child's hand. They are the stick figures that I mentioned before of a family.
Yeah.
And you do find, several pieces of unused parchment. And slender, crooked sticks that have been cut to a point that can be used as pencils or charcoal.
She will maybe not use them now, but she will definitely keep them.
Mm-hmm. You can fold them up and put
The
them
the pencils and the paper. Yeah, she will stuff them in a pocket or something, maybe for later, for her watch or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, about 5 pieces of paper or parchment and pencil. Okay. Anyone else? All right. Well, feel free to move your tokens to a chosen bed. Lokar, as you're up there, anything you wish to do, or think, or mention?
I mean, I think he's listening to the conversation downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
He's not super happy to have to sleep, but we'll make do. So he just takes this extra time to rest without sleeping until he's tired enough to fall asleep.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that Lokar is becoming to fear sleeping?
I feel like it's just, before he could sometimes or often avoid dreaming or not remembering or not feeling, but with these people and recently it just has been every night, so it's just really uncomfortable for him, I think. I don't think it has gotten quite to fear yet, but it's this really uncomfortable feeling of having to face something you really don't want to face every time you want to rest.
I see. Okay. You clearly toss and turn on this rickety bed. It squeaks and complains under your weight. The straw is clearly poking through the mattress as it's old, but you've slept on far worse. Okay. We will take care of the Viturin situation first before delving down into our nighttime shenanigans. Everyone hold your fingers. Okay. Aurora. You have no way of telling the time. Thank you for the reminder. You have no way of telling the time, but there have been days when you've been posted as a Templar throughout the night doing patrols or guard duty when you're a recruit, and you can at least feel when your body is complaining enough around the midnight hour. It is not an accurate way of telling the time, and will not be consistently accurate the more tired you are, but for now, you had a decent night's sleep despite being in the slave pens last night, and here you are with a roof over your heads, although be it rotten. The blade that your father gave you rests in your lap before you are intending to leave. It's polished blade. It's reflective enough so you can see your own reflection within it. And the dormant runes down the blade are obscure, and you're unsure about what they mean. But it is ornate, and you have seen this blade hanging in your father's study for as long as you can remember within the Templar district in Gerst. It's a part of who he is, a part of your family. And as you stare at your own reflection within the blade, it's a stark reminder of where you are and what has happened since you were captured that day. And your body starts to complain as you hold your watch. But roll me a perception check just real quick. Ooh, wow. Everyone rolling above 20 tonight.
I haven't rolled yet.
Hold my
You
beer.
wait.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold on.
You're taking out this spot next to a window, right? as you would likely do. The knowing an alarm spell within the interior of this building that you've now called home for the night. And as you peer out of the window of the 2 hours that you are on watch, is there anything you want to do, by the way?
I think a lot of it's just reflective thoughts and like the sword and trying to decipher what the runes mean, if anything. She's never really spent a lot of time like intricately looking at the blade, and they're very obviously a language she doesn't know.
Mm-hmm. During your watch, a couple of things happen outside the window. A couple of scenes that you take note of. The sorrows do not reflect the same nature of cycle as they do on the surface. Given there is no sun or moon here, people's comings and goings do not match those with like it being nighttime or daytime. And you see some like filthy children walking around, and you go like, shouldn't they be in bed? There are, people wearing rags who make their way down the tier that you now find yourself on. And it's not long before you hear some stumbling coming up these stairs, and some laughing, some heavy laughing, of a voice you have come to learn is that of Jasper, as he is heavily inebriated, as is Listen, who is even more inebriated. And they seem to be in high spirits, albeit intoxicated, and stumbling about, smashing into things on accident and laughing before disappearing down an alleyway, and their voices disperse into the sorrows. About half an hour beyond that, Gargle walks through the streets and up until the tiers, and he looks at a small black notebook he has in his hand, and looks towards your door, and then looks to the notebook again, looks around, see if anyone else is clearly within the streets, and a few people are mulling about, and each time a person comes, he pretends that he's looking at something else, looking at a barrel, or inspecting another building that seems to be about to fall over. And when the coast is clear, he makes a start for the building, for your house, to the door. But then another person comes, and he does this sort of 90-degree turn, as if he's like wasn't intending on coming to your door in the first place, and goes past, out of your view. It doesn't return until your watch ends. You feel there is time to leave.
I guess I'll climb up the ladder a little bit and toss a rock or something at Karak's shell. Hey.
Rude.
It's your turn.
Oh, okay.
There's people about a lot of people. If I'm not back within a couple of hours, probably something happened.
Right. You're going to see your dad.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess if you're not back before next watch, I'll wake up everybody. We'll come find you.
Yeah. I don't know how long it'll be, but hopefully not longer than that.
Okay. Good luck. Stay safe.
The Gaga, or whatever his name was, the sheriff's lackey, keep an eye out for him.
I will.
And off the map I go.
Careful to not like pull the door off its hinges. You pass through the alarm spell without it going off because Magrim sets it so. And you head off back up to the top of the Sorrows. I'll just like take everyone there for the time being. Let's take you back up here. You walk through the streets of the Sorrows, the main street, back up to the entrance of this cavernous space. And you look around as you're walking solo through the streets. And it's just like you saw when you were looking out of that window keeping watch, that down here, people don't keep time of day or night. It is always night. And some people are doing their like laundry with dirty water, or some kids playing within the dirt with broken toys. Despite it being midnight for you and your the bags under your eyes, giving you that feeling of exhaustion, you make your way up to the entrance once more to meet your father. Your father is standing there, like, leaning against the pillar, going through some papers, just like reading them. Parchment that has wax seals on the edges of them, and seeing you come up and around, he folds them and puts them within a pocket in his jacket.
Father?
Aurora, I'm pleased that you chose to come. I've waited a long time to see this day, and I had hoped that it wouldn't be in a place like this. The blade that I gave you has been in our family for generations. And my father gave it to me as I give it to you, and it was a happier time, shall we say. A simpler time back then in Mizfar. But we can't always pick where we are. I hope that if you were to pass on this blade, it isn't within an underground hellhole, such as the Sorrows, but a more happier place.
That would require me dating someone father at the very least.
You've got time. But for now, it's just us. Do you have any questions?
No, but I do want to say so. I'm not apologizing. You deserve every bit of my frustration with you and more, but you are right. The plan was reckless, stupid, but it was effective. The only misfortune is that we have to go back and fix the remaining mistakes. And they will be fixed.
I'm glad that you could come around to see it that way. And I hope you can see that I did this with the utmost altruistic perspective.
When a simpler time comes, I'm taking you and Alabaster to a ring and I'm beating the shit out of both of you.
We'll see about that. But
Old man, father, you can't even hold your sword anymore. Giving it to me. She just gives like the shittiest ring eating thing ever.
He folds his arms in front of him and says, I've held that sword longer than you've been alive. I'm sure I could probably still give you a run for your money, but another time. This ritual of passing the blade is something I learned from my father, and it surprised me when I went through it. So I will do you the service of telling you what will happen so you are not shocked. I know that you can take it regardless, especially after everything you've been through with being part of the Templars here in Gerst. But nevertheless, this blade is very special. I often asked my grandfather where it came from. Where did Dad's blade come from? And he would get this long look in his eye as he's looking off to the distance, and you know how old men are, they just can't wait to tell you a story, and well, I could not give a shit about what he said back then. And I regret not listening to him. But he would always mention that it came from a tribe near the dragon's ribcage. That it was forged there within the volcano. That it had something to do with ancient lineages, but it was just stories. This blade can't be broken. It is enchanted in some ways, and will never diminish in its sharpness. I hope you treat it well, because it is meant to provide you with some things that you will need in this world that we currently live in. This ritual will give us the opportunity to share who we are together. To allow who I am and what I have learned throughout my life to be listened to, interpreted, to be absorbed, available to you, to understand. And just as my father's voice is heard when I sleep with this blade, so will you hear mine. Are you ready?
Still hope to hear you while I'm awake. At least for a few more years. But yes.
Know that I'll always be with you whilst you hold this blade in a form. It won't be me exactly, but it's a part of me. It's a part of who I am. And as you wield this blade, so too will parts of you become the legacy that is of Silversong and the Viturin family. He gestures to you to head inside this structure.
Yeah, I'll football the sword and go on inside.
You will what the sword?
Undercarriage, hold the sword under elbow.
Oh, under elbow. Okay. Oh, football.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like a football, like a hand egg.
Yeah, hand egg. Yeah, no, I get it. It's just like I was like, what the hell? I get it. Yeah, cool. You carry the blade inside. The structure here is carved out of the rock face itself, as if it's been here standing for millennia. It feels like there are no furnishings that aren't carvings, like excavations, chairs that are just merely outcroppings. And along the walls are various papers, somehow like nailed into the sediment. Papers on papers on papers that hang, and within the room that you're led to is a heavy stone table with a map of Gerst and pins and pieces sitting on top of it as if a war map. He leads you to a side room that is not too big. It's about 20 foot by 10 foot, with a small alcove to the back and right of it that it opens up a little bit more to be more 2020. His quarters. You can see a fine pressed suit hanging up on the wall, as well a couple of personal effects, and also a picture of you, of Lil Nico, and of Frida, your mother.
Rather being out with the minister late at night, you're here.
I guess that has taken a long time to get where we are.
Explains a few things.
He gestures to the alcove, which has a couple of nice-looking upholstered pillows and a rug. A circular rug that is simple in nature, of dark navy blue ring and white ring in navy blue. And he sits down and gestures for you to sit opposite.
Yeah, I do.
He holds his hand out for the blade.
give him the hilt.
And he puts it down in between you two, horizontal, as if a line drawn between you. And he says to you, "Here are we of the Viturans, a line that goes back to the ages, bound by a blade forged of the fires. I, Alessandro, willingly provide legacy to my daughter, Aurora. Here continues the line of the Viturans. Let this blade represent our undying legacy." He puts his hands, one on the winged hilt by the closest to him, and also on the tip of the blade, and he looks to you. When you're ready.
I will. Yeah, I'll go ahead and match his hand placement on the opposite side.
Let it be heard that the blade will seek another. I nominate Aurora, Viturin, successor of the Viturin household, to accept Silversong, to be judged for who she is. And he closes his eyes, and you do the same. And for a moment, nothing happens. You feel like this is a strange ritual, and maybe this is just, making fun, or an age-old ritual that doesn't have any real point. And then you drop into this meditative state, helped by this warm feeling of the blade. And your vision clouds with your eyes closed. And the clouds themselves, as you meditate, start to show scenes and people. You see, the very first thing you see is your mother smiling. Then you see a scene of your father and your mother meeting. Their first kiss. You see your father being enrolled within the Kalis army. You see the birth of yourself. You see your father donning the armor of Kalis and looking himself in a reflective steel polished shield and frowning. You see the birth of your brother. You see your father fighting with blood on Silversong. Him screaming out in anguish and pain as he is cutting down human and gnome and dwarf, and looking down at the blade with a trembling lower lip. You see Harvest Festival at the Viturin estate in Mizvar, with your father holding a goblet of wine, and everyone in the family is happy and cheering and eating, and his hand shakes. And your mother's hand places hers on his other with a reassuring look and grips warmly his hand. You see your father choking the life out of a peasant gnome. And then stumbling back with tears in his eyes, saying, "No, no, this is wrong." You see the moment that you are told that you must leave Mizvar. And the feeling of regret and disappointment as your father gives you this information. And you running away saying, "I don't want to go." And him remaining with a look of failure on his face. You see your father running with a blood-stained sword through fields of green and yellow, and reaching a city with walls higher than you've seen, higher than Gerst's, with a large spire in the middle of it. The spire is like a religious spire, tall, and as you stare up, it's almost like a silhouette against the sun. The top of the spire is dark. You see a journey of cart and horse and carriage, and you, Aurora, and Lil Nico shivering in blankets as you are carted along a long road. You see your father begging Baron Vinustide for safe harbor, for your safety, and giving him a large amount of money. With him gesturing, saying, "That's all I have in the world, please." And the Baron taking sympathy and nodding, and the feeling of relief. Snap. A flash of blue hits your vision, and you hear a voice deep within saying, "Do you accept the legacy?"
On my oath, I, Aurora, of the House of Eturin, accept this legacy.
The next thing that you see as the clouds begin to clear is the forging of silver song. The clang, clang, clang of a mithril hammer against blackened anvil. And you see the blade being picked up by large hands. And looking into it, you see in the reflection of the blade that of a giant, which then dissolves to you looking into the blade. And you arise from this meditation to see your father with tears in his eyes looking at you.
I think Aurora is like kind of gasping for breath a little bit. How long was that? Felt like a fucking decade. No. That was half your fucking life, Father.
All my mistakes, all my successes have been done with the Viturin family in mind. I hope that you will ensure that you do so. Your family loves you very much. I love you very much. But I know that each one of us have a road to travel in this life. Mine led me to places I'd rather not think about. And I choose to think of the good things instead. Remember that no matter how dark the road gets, you always have people that love you, and you can always come home. Sleep with the blade. At least holding it, touching it on your person. It will help guide you. The lineage of the Viturans lies within this blade, as does their memories. Now yours will become a part of it.
Almost family secrets.
I wish you every happiness, despite the hardship that may come. I love you, my daughter.
I know. I know.
We still have some things to take care of. I've had word from the surface that the streets run red with blood. The order is out of control. It's not safe yet. The Templars have the gates locked down, and until they are at least open to allow anyone in, or you can find a way through Undergurst to come up within the Templar district, things are going to be very difficult. So take a day. I'll be here tomorrow night. Rest. I know that the people of the Sorrows have their own issues here. If you wish to help, well, I'm not going to stop you. I'll find out more from the surface and let you know when it's time. Ramilla will find you, no matter where you are.
Do you really trust Alabaster with our family that much?
I have to. He's been
No.
a good man. I'm surprised you and he didn't, get together.
It's got a long way to rebuild that bridge.
Go easy on him. He's not as tough despite his skin. Go now. Get some rest. You've earned it.
Yeah, I think Aurora just gets up without a word and leaves.
Alright. And you return to our lovely shack, where shenanigans will happen.
Shenanigans.
Corruptees, please
my
roll
word.
your con saves.
Oh
There will be no shenanigans on my watch.
no! Wait, this may be a good moment to use my inspiration if this does not.
Okay.
Wait.
Wow.
And I keep thinking.
Sure, why
Or
Does Carrick have? No way, he doesn't.
he has he
Nothing.
does have oh no, he's well, this will be when you're
Out of his
sleeping,
shell.
Carrick, so you'll be in your shell. So you
Hey,
luckily
that's right.
your
Ayo.
racial
That's right.
shenanigans
12.
don't help you so
12.
much. Not today. Nissa, now everyone roll a d8.
Everyone?
Everyone.
1d8.
1d8.
Okay.
Okay. Beginning with...
Sleep.
Sorry? was
Nissa, you die in your sleep.
Right. A change happens within you all. We'll start with Karik.
Okay.
Roll a 12 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Within your shell, your feelings. What did you have before? Bugs?
I had the phobia of beasts last
Beasts?
time.
Right. So your phobia of animals seems to dissipate as your mind grows scattered and cloudy. You struggle with maintaining serious, deep thoughts. Like you have ADHD a little.
I should be great at this.
And you already are like this. You have disadvantage on intelligence ability checks tomorrow.
Okay. Is this still considered level 1 corruption?
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
It's only
making
been
sure
a few
for my-
days. Yep, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm rolling on the one table.
Gotcha.
well,
So
you're
disadvantage
rolling.
on
Intelligence. Yep, for tomorrow.
Just checks, not saves.
Ability checks, not saves.
Sweet.
Lokar. Your D8 was an 8. Oh, 1 second. One second. Just getting the list up here.
DM was unprepared.
How will you get fucked today?
No, it's just like it's another list he has to roll on.
Oh man.
Sorry, do I have to what do I have to roll?
Yeah, 1 second. I'm just getting the list. 1 second.
Oh, okay. I thought I just didn't hear.
No. It's
Remember, 8 is bad on that roll. Very bad.
That's fine. I'm good at rolling bad.
Can you roll me a D15?
Oh, of course. The good old D15.
Yeah, everyone
Oh,
has
yeah.
a D15.
Yes,
Yeah.
let me just get my real D15 out. I got a 3.
Interesting.
Is it?
God. Let me just check one other thing. What's the
Oh,
note
God.
here? Where's my note?
Lokar advances 3 levels of corruption and dies.
Okay.
Fine.
This is so interesting. Okay. Oh,
Yeah, it dies or it goes mad.
I'm going to save something because it's going to be that much more interesting to do it in real time. So I'll just put this as a reminder here.
My brain, when
Yeah.
you said you're gonna save, immediately went to like playing a video game. I'm gonna quick save real quick because this
Yeah,
might go
for sure.
bad.
I'm gonna quick save before I kill everybody.
Yep.
Okay. I will message you directly. Actually, Pepper. 1 second. This is so appropriate. 1 second.
Oh no.
Save and load. Save and load, everybody. Let's restart the playthrough. All right.
Pepper, where are you? There you are.
F5. 5.
Oh man.
Knowing the little bit of tragic backstory about Lokar, knowing that the corruption is appropriate, is terrifying.
You guys want to hear a joke?
No time for jokes. Sorry. We have Anissa, who's rolled a 6 on the mild side, and
Mild.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
Just because you roll a 20 doesn't mean it's anything. It's just means
We're
it's
still
funny.
stuck with it.
Yeah. You just have it on the mild side. So for future reference, your con save defines how your level of corruption impacts you today or for tomorrow, and then your D8 rolls on the individual table. So there's several tables involved with corruption.
Makes sense.
Nissa, the first attack
Yeah.
made against you in any combat will have advantage on you for tomorrow, as you find yourself to be curiously very similar to who you are, very impulsive in dangerous situations, putting yourself at risk unnecessarily so.
Okay. I mean,
Nista, your corruption's cured. You're back to normal.
So you feel a compulsion
Miracle.
to like put yourself into dangerous situations, kind of like when you drunk the potion a little bit. So yeah,
Yeah.
you're like at reckless.
reckless. Okay. I
So
think
it's the first
I can-
attack
can
on
deal with
any
that.
combat encounter, not every attack.
so. The first attack only. Okay.
First attack in any combat encounter will have, and that's it. There's no other attacks after that. It's just the first one.
Okay. Cool.
Of each encounter for the next day.
Of any for each encounter as a whole. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry. Cut someone off. Did I cut someone off? I cut Magram off. A joke. Or that just not? That was not in character because you're sleeping.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Next shenanigan. Karik, your watch. Please roll perception.
Do I need to do disadvantage for dark, or is it lit enough that I'm good?
It's dim light outside, so since you don't have dark vision, it will be
Yeah.
disadvantage to look outside. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
What if he's listening?
I mean, makes no difference
Yeah.
No.
because he's on the inside of a wall.
I was told to look out for the one dude, so I'm looking for it.
Yeah. During your rest, you're looking out, but then like you get distracted for a hot second, or you get like you go and check to see if there are any remnants of the food left by Magrim. Like, did anything not get eaten as your stomach growls, and the smell of the pan that he used still holds some of that delicious smell as you put your beak into it. When you're away from the window, if you're gonna sit where Aurora was, there's a knock at the door.
I'm gonna walk to the door and nudge Mag awake as I walk by. Be like, someone's at the door.
Hi. Okay.
And then I'll go over to the door, and I'm not gonna open it. Just be like, yes.
You hear a whispered voice on the other side say, "Do beg my apologies for calling at such a late hour for you, but I have a word from Shandal. If you would be so kind as to open the door, we can... Hopefully I can give you this letter."
A spectral mage hand floats through the window next to the man. Put the letter into the hand.
He looks to the side and goes, "Oh." He makes a jump. And he says, "Right, very good." And he gingerly, you can see him like through the slats of the very rickety door, gingerly places the letter into the mage hand. And he says, "If you need me, I'll be at the Hollow Tankard." And he walks away.
Understood, sir. Good night.
Thank you.
Okay, what is this? Magrim will unfold the letter.
Yeah, it's more of a note than it is a letter. It is written in a handwriting that is of very dubious learning. And it is clearly from Mayor Shandel. And reads to the effect of, with some interpretation, that he would like to meet those who were strong enough to fight in Gerst's arena, and the people of the Sorrows would be very grateful for an audience. To meet tomorrow at your convenience. Mayor Shandal.
Ooh. Carrick.
Does this mean we're famous?
We are so famous. Carrick. We just got an invitation with an owner of this city.
No, I think he's the owner. I think it says mayor.
Well, it's kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I'm from the desert.
Yeah. The guy that was running the place where I live wasn't really a mayor. Anyway, this is great news. We've been recognized. Well, actually, no, that's bad news. People recognize us.
Yeah, that doesn't. I don't think that's not good for me. I don't like being recognized.
Yeah, and I can get. Yeah. Well, suppose we're gonna be staying here for some time. Suppose we should see the local main players of this place, you know?
Yeah. Bring it up with the rest of the group in the morning.
For sure. Hey, Carrick. My shift is next, right? Yes, right.
Yeah.
Listen. It's been a while, and I'm delighted that you have found your way to us. That you looked out for us, and I truly appreciate you coming to us, friend.
I told Aurora the same thing. I feel like I didn't really have much of a choice. I mean, I wanted to, but I felt like I had to. I couldn't leave you guys in there. It was terrible.
Hey, Eric, can I inquire from you? How do you deal with fury, anger?
C thinks real hard. It's like, I don't know. I don't think I've ever been that mad before. I mean, obviously, there's been things that are frustrating, but you just kind of let stuff go.
Well, recently I've discovered that whenever I manifest my celestial blood, when I get all glowy, and my spells become better, I feel everything more amplified. Like during our fight with the butcher, my vision got clouded with recklessness and fury when you were struck down. The only thing that I wanted was to make that butcher perish with my spells. But in doing so, I would have neglected your health. So I snapped out of it and went to raise you up. The other time that such a thing happened was during, yesterday, during the whole monster that came from the depths. When that thing had you grabbed, and when it had Aurora grabbed with its tentacles, I was fuming already. I could not stand watching the both of you be held by this thing. And when Nissa was snatched out of my hands when she fell, I think I lost it. I couldn't keep a clear head. I think this manifestation of me feeling how you would feel your pain when you hit that water with the infested fishes, when Lokar, when he gets hit, when Aurora, it's when Nissa gets fallen, and I just want an answer, a clear formula, equation, something that will make me not as reckless, I think.
Well, don't know that there's a formula or an equation that'll help. And if there is, my suggestion might not have the answer for you, but I think someone that might be able to help you out with this more than I would be Lokar.
Well, I don't think he is one that really talks about his inner machinations of his mind. I feel like he's more of an enigma.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like you're right. It would be hard to get him to talk about it, but if you could get him to talk about it, I feel like he probably knows the secret. I mean, look at him. He looks like he's pissed off all the time.
Yeah, I think that.
So the fact that he's able to be pissed off all the time and not kill us, because just to be honest, he could kill us if he wanted to.
Oh yeah.
He's got to know something, right, on how to control it or harness it, or I don't know.
Yeah, probably. I'll keep that in mind. Maybe next time I can get a watch before his. Thanks, Garrick.
Anytime.
And when do you think we can return to, I guess, our quest, Colleen? And he gestures to the runes on his hands.
Well, hopefully, I was hoping that if we're able to help Aurora's family, maybe we could ask her dad for some information. Maybe he can point us in the right direction at least.
Maybe he can get us camels.
Yeah.
Have you ever ridden on a camel, Garrick?
I'd say I'm probably too big to ride on a camel, but I've been next to camels a lot. They were in the caravan with us.
I've ridden on one. It's so unwieldy. I'd much rather ride a horse. Have you ever ridden a horse, Garrick?
No, they're too small.
Lovely creatures. I'm sure they'll like.
I've been pulled on
Anyway.
wagons by horses and camels.
Oh, that's nice. Anyway, I won't keep you up much longer. Also, not sure if I shared this with anyone yet, but I can make this hand, and he produces a mage hand, and I can make it disappear, and the hand disappears, but it's still there. It's not gone. It's there. See, I can half five it. Look. Oh wait, invisible. You get what I mean.
I try to poke where it was, see if I can feel it.
Yeah, it's there.
I missed completely. I'm not even poking in the right spot.
Right. Are you?
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. So, if we ever get bound, this neat trick might help us. We'll see.
Good to know.
Alright.
Oh, right. Aurora said she should be back soon. But that if she wasn't, I said that if she wasn't back by the end of my watch, I was going to wake everybody up and we'd go look for her.
I mean,
Do you think?
It's not the end of
jeez,
your watch
she'll
yet.
be-
Oh, okay.
You woke up Magrum, remember?
Yeah. Okay.
she'll be fine. I mean, I feel like in a place like this, you seen that guy, the sheriff, came over. You
Right.
can probably sniff out anyone if she doesn't come back soon. Anyway.
Yeah.
God, this place. Groovy. I need to get one of those hats. And he points to your hat, Carrick.
It is nice. Comes in handy.
Oh. I feel like it would offer great protection against the sun.
Just
Have you
offers
made it
great
yourself?
protection in general. It's also a shield.
I noticed. But I don't think I will be able to carry a shield and cast spells.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah, because I feel like it's a bit too finicky for me. Anyway, do you mind if I just, rest for a bit?
Yeah.
Aurora.
I'll wake you up when it's time for your watch.
Oh, alright. And, Carrick, thank you for being a good friend.
Thank you for being a friend. I'll go sit back down by the window again.
Okay. Did I get you to roll perception yet?
Yes.
Oh, you got
I
a 7, right?
rolled.
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
Just
Okay.
Yes, 7.
Yeah.
Nearing the end of your watch, you're getting impatient or nervous about the fact that Aurora isn't quite back yet. But you then get distracted by some squeaking and some rustling. As you take a look on the other side of this shack, there is like a hole, a gap within the wall behind the stove, and you see a small nose with whiskers peek out from underneath the stove,
Has my corruption changed to the new thing yet, or am I still on phobia of beasts?
You haven't completed a long rest yet.
Oh
Oh
no.
my god.
A mouse.
Oh no!
A mouse.
All I see right now is a nose and whiskers.
Yeah, and two teeny tiny black beady eyes like
Eyeball.
peer from out of the shadow.
Is it closer to the end of my watch now? Or is it still in the
I
middle?
mean, it's closer than the start, I guess.
I'm looking at it very nervously, like ready to start backing away if it starts to come out any farther.
But it's so tiny. You see it sniff out, and it is gonna like come across and go to the edges of the like at the very bottom of the stove, and you can see that it's sniffing out, and it's moving closer around the edge, and like does a stand up on its haunches and like looks around and sniffs, and then stares at you. It can like sees you staring at it.
As soon as it looks at me, I cast Ice Knife at it. It's a 23 hit.
If 23 definitely hits, like a mote of ice from your staff just like shoots directly out at this tiny creature. You can you can see in his beady eyes the ice knife like plunge straight towards it, and it goes squeak. The ice knife shatters across the stove, across this sort of stone-chipped sink and the countertop, and blasts like the furniture. It was already rickety and kind of like already falling apart, and it just shatters the stone here, with and like collapses and crunches down. And Magrim, you wake up from this. Nissa, you would wake up from this. Lokai, you're having a dream, so this is kind of fine for you for the moment. You got more noises in your dream than what's going on outside, so you're oblivious to this. So Nissa, you wake up.
Probably
Magrim, you wake up.
adds to the dream.
Aurora, as you're walking closer to the house, you hear from within the door this and shattering.
I'm gonna add to this. I'm gonna run up and I'm gonna kick the door down, like sword drawn and everything.
Sure.
I'm standing on top of a chair.
Magrim falls out of bed ready to Magrim falls out of bed ready to cast spell, saying, "Balthazar, again? What?"
Yeah, Nissa just peeks down from above, like poking her head out, and one dagger in her hand, going, "What the hell was that?
There was a rat.
Are you
Alright.
There was a rat.
are you serious, Carrick?
Yes, there was a rat. It was in the corner.
But I can see its icy corpse. Oh, God.
Dead?
There are hundreds of rats.
Where?
Why?
Start
No.
freaking out, looking around.
Okay,
Okay.
calm down.
But why did this one deserve such a death?
Oh, I can't use that.
Fuck did I just walk into?
I wanted to have something more like I don't know if I can do it. I don't think it. Yeah, at least on PNG.
Damn.
Hold on, I'll go get one. 1 second. Keep talking.
Garrick,
Huh.
I mean, Don't you have like quieter spells? Man,
Gods, I really thought it was an
Sorry, I
intruder,
panicked.
like,
I panicked. It was an intruder. Look at him. He's right there.
I mean,
yeah, but he's
He got all the way inside the house. I had to do something about it.
I guess we'll sleep soundly, knowing our rations are okay.
I am not eating more rat.
Uh,
Oh, you're back.
oh hi.
Yeah. Pity about the door.
Well,
He kicked the door down.
I did
it
kick
was,
the
it
door
was
down.
probably it was probably not gonna hold on for much longer.
Door's dead.
So yeah,
Rat's dead.
Carrick, are you afraid of rats? Are you scared of them? You sent
No.
us a rat.
I'm not afraid of rats.
You turn into one.
Yeah. you
Normally,
sent-
now that you say that, no, I'm not afraid of rats. I'm not sure what's going on. But that one in particular was real scary, and I had to do something about it.
Maybe it's your affliction. Maybe you're hungry. I mean,
we could still cook that rat. I mean, if you're hungry.
Oh, it's in pieces.
It froze and then exploded.
Yeah. It's like in little tiny mouse
okay.
cubes.
I just thought it froze.
No, the
But no.
shard explodes after it hits.
No. yeah.
Scratch that.
Okay, well, guess it's my watch now.
Good night, losers. Trying to wake me again.
Sorry.
Nissa.
Nice sword, Aurora.
Yeah, it is. Guess I'll like pull the sword out and like show Mag a little bit. You haven't seen anything like it?
Ooh. Ancient runes.
It's not a language
What-
we speak around here, that's for sure.
Yeah. Delicate. Deadly. Pristine. Well kept. Does it say have a name?
Silver Song.
A befitting name for such a blade.
A pretentious name for a good blade.
Back in the day, they always called things bombastically. They still do. Anyway, I guess it's we should take some rest. My turn.
As Nissa, you return to your makeshift bed. You notice that Lokar did not wake up, and he is his head is like moving from side to side, and he's twitching quite aggressively.
I don't know
Lokar.
if I should try to wake him.
Well, despite what you tried to do, things have already happened because he's been sleeping. So, Lokar,
Fortunately, I have been sleeping, yes.
you have been sleeping amongst your newfound family, friends, acquaintances, and
Rats.
one, well, bits of rats now. And you find yourself maneuvering over to your dream state.
Ooh, roll a one. Roll a one.
You walk down that same corridor of stone, and the D28 needs to happen.
Alright. An 8.
We already.
We already had.
We already
so
revealed 8.
You get to
Reroll.
Yay!
One.
Two.
2 is possibly good.
Just good.
Ooh.
Oh, a door.
A door.
Ritual room.
The sounds and screams of your soldier comrades. Even though you have heard of them every night since you met this party, they do not get any less chilling. Peering through the fractured memory, you are able to remove another piece and add to that archway that perplexed you with the blood on the walls. What is revealed to you as you peer through this next shard is more detail as to where you could potentially have been and where you currently stand within this dream, this memory. As you peer and try and take in this extra detail with additional blood that seems to have been dripping and billowing, things start to connect a little bit with the pieces being so close to each other. I'll allow you to roll 2 rolls. A religion with advantage and a survival.
Before he does that, well, I guess he already rolled.
Oh.
With the context of what I just experienced from my father, would it be okay if, like, with him twitching and turning, we do like the motherly thing of like resting his head like on a pillow on my lap, try and calm him down in his sleep? Because like Aurora very much kind of understands that PTSD, I would think. And in doing that, give him guidance, I suppose.
That is an interesting thing. I will allow it. Where Aurora obviously hears the creaking of the bed upstairs and coming back in, can go up to the mezzanine and see Lokar in his current a state that she's seen him before in. And you put your hand on his forehead and you say an utterance to Ilmata of rest easy, and you are able to roll with guidance.
Right. Do I need to decide on which roll I get guidance, or should I just roll for both? Or...
I'd say it's for the scene, so let's do it for both, because it's like what's happening to you is in a fraction of time, and she's doing it continuously. So 16 for that, and a... Oh wow.
21 for survival.
Amazing. Aurora, as you feel like you're doing this, you feel like what you're doing is helpful, and Lokar's like movements in the night, and like his like head's moving side to side, and he's like like some utterance and like some clearly bad dreams happening. He calms down a little bit as you assist. With a 16 on your religion, something triggers in your memory beyond what you're just seeing. A feeling, another memory, a contextual piece of information about why you were sent down here, at least from the information that you were given. You hear Ger Frazie's voice in the back of your mind. You hear his voice say, "Let's get to it, boys. Captain Rookthar says there's a relic here that the Upsilon dogs want. It's only a matter of time before they get it." And you look at this archway. And you ascertain from a religion perspective, and with the voice of Gur in your head, that you are within not necessarily a crypt that you thought it was, or recall it to be because of the last fleeting memories of what happened in there and where you left. And this is more a temple. An infernal religious temple. The survival connects that the blood that was on the walls that you thought was blood was not dripping down, but more emanating from a source. As if the statue, the body of the statue, was bathing in blood. Blood fed to it. And in the, like hidden behind the fragments of the memory, you can hear gurglings of your soldier compatriots. Screamings, "Not like this, no, make it stop." And as these dots seem to connect, an unknown force drags you away from the fractured memory, down the corridor, and in a sort of semi-comatose state, you feel Aurora's hand on your forehead. And your dream, following your nightmare, is of little Lokar in a tent back home with your mother's hand on your forehead, saying everything will be alright. And without opening your eyes, you feel comforted, not knowing it's Aurora. And you have, for the remainder of your sleep, comforted dreams of your past. Magrim. Aurora, I imagine
That's
you seeing that Lokar
I'm totally
sees...
I'm totally okay if you just want to say fall asleep on the wall behind him or whatever.
Okay.
Lisa just raises her eyebrows at Aurora and goes, and you think I'm weird. Well, weird. Whatever. I know you were eavesdropping.
Go to sleep.
Night night.
Okay, Magrim, anything you're doing? A perception check? With the door now broken?
Well, there's now a nice draft.
You would say that, but there's actually no draft, because you're not outside. You're
We're on the ground. Right, yeah, that tracks. 5. Yeah, that also tracks. Magrim, for his wash, he'll be putting away the chunks of the rat away outside.
Okay. as you're doing this, so you're scooping the.
I'm scooping them with the mage hand, but his hands are not dirty.
Of course, because germs. You scoop and you put outside, and as you go back to do another scoop, because there's like bits everywhere, and you put out the second amount, you notice that the bits are already gone.
Huh?
Of the first amount of rat bits, mouse bits.
Huh? Did they melt away?
Make a perception check.
Okay.
That's kind of creepy.
You like peer at where you sure that you dropped it, and no, they have not melted into the mud.
Something took it. Okay. Well. Okay, Magram. What is it gonna be this time? Please not be a Whirlpool Bunny. Please not be a Whirlpool Bunny. Please not be a Whirlpool Bunny. He will take a step outside of the makeshift house to look out. Does he see anything? And please, dear God, let it not be a Whirlpool Bunny.
It's so funny that you say that.
Oh no.
Oh god.
I do actually have a token for Vorpal Bunny. It's so strange.
No. I know of the Whirlpool Bunny.
It is not a Vorpal Bunny. Instead, what you see, like as you step outside and you're like looking around, like what's going on? Where did it go? With your 18, you notice just around the corner, let's say back here, around the corner, you see a bushy white tail sticking out at the end. It is clean, and it doesn't seem dirty.
Hello?
It's small, like an animal's.
Hello, animal?
The tail, like, zips out of view around the corner.
Mango will take a step back inside and leave one more piece of the rat outside, and he will look at it attentively.
Okay. It tracks with your perception of 5. You're not doing any sort of watch.
No.
This is now your mission.
Yes. He is sure that the alarm spell will. He's sure that the alarm spell will take care of whatever this is. He's focused on what's going on right now.
Got it. You leave a piece of mouse chunk, frozen mouse chunk, in a spot, and you you find a spot to attentively look, and you wait. And you wait. And then you see a tiny white claw just like reach out. You don't see the face, you just see a little tiny claw reach out, grab it, and then zip back out of view.
Oh my God. Magrin, that Kathy. No. This is bad news. And okay. How many more chunks of the rat do I have? Do I have at least 3?
Let's roll the dice.
Okay, what do I need to roll?
No, I roll. There are 2 more chunks.
Okay. He'll leave 1 more chunk at the entrance. And he'll leave another chunk like 10 feet into the house. And he will prepare a telekinetic pull when he sees the full body of the cat. Or at least what he thinks is a cat.
You think it's okay? Okay. Sure, you can do that.
Yep.
I want you to, because it's a telekinetic pull is it's an attack thing, right? It's a grapple. The rules that we went over, right? For grapple, right? This is again, this is contested, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you just roll me your roll based off of those rules that we went over?
Just so it's straight intelligence, right? I'm remembering that.
It's
right?
your spell attack.
Spell attack.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh god.
8.
12.
Oh, what? You rolled it 4 times? Okay, 12.
Yeah.
Okay, I will secret roll.
I didn't know what I was clicking, and then I did. Yes, 4 mage hands.
Cool. You see the hand, little white claw hand, grab another piece and disappear briefly around the corner, and then you see a nose, a white, pink nose, peer around, and then whiskers that are sniffing, and the little pink nose is wiggling up and down like it's doing the big sniff, like. And you see peer from around the corner a tiny creature.
Oh, it's not a cat.
And it wiggles its way in. It's like sniffing after more mouse chunk. And you lash out with your telekinetic pull to try and grapple it. And it sees you as you do this and feels it, and then it actually rolled higher than you.
Yeah, I
Oh
figured.
my god. Oh my god. Because of course.
You grab it, and you know how like when you grab like a little kind of rodent, it kind of squirms rapidly, and it's like, oh my god! And your mage hand can't grab hold of it, and it like slips out of its fingers, and it then farts in the air with this sort of yellow sulfurous smell, as it manages to escape from your grip and scurries away.
Creature. Here? Weasels are not native to caves. This is outrageous. Smells like a demon, and... Oh, God. Okay. Demonology. 101. What did the guy that thought you went over it? Bring holy water, salt, and a horse. Okay, what else do you know? He's gonna try to ascertain knowledge from what he saw. Like a beast that excreted sulfur. Can he see if he perhaps knows anything of it?
Alright.
Salt, holy water, and horse?
Yeah. Demonology is weird, man.
It is. You can certainly roll nature.
Alright. Not his strong suit, but let's try it.
19 is a solid roll, though. You have seen weasels before.
Yeah.
Feralem is like crawling with nature, so like seeing these things, stoats and little ferrets, they are not creatures that necessarily inhabit cities, let alone a desert city. Seeing this creature, though, you are pretty sure after doing the big think about like what you've seen, like this creature is different. It certainly natural ferrets and weasels do not fart sulfur, and they certainly they do eat meat. They're kind of omnivores to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But something about it doesn't ring true. Like this doesn't feel to you like the weasels that you have seen before, or the fact that it has this sulfurous aspect to it is almost like hits your religious side. Like this is not natural.
Fiend that takes form of a ferret. A summon. There's a caster with the find familiar spell like mine. Summons ferrets that are fiends that fart when they're scared. I must find them and shake their hand because that is hilarious. Okay. Well, guess I'll have something to tell to the lads. And he goes back, not really keeping watch, as he is now contemplating who that might be from the people that he met. Could it be the sheriff? Could it be this mayor person stalking them out? He's lost in thought.
Oh boy, have I got news for you, man.
And,
He doesn't know that yet.
Yeah, he doesn't know that. Your watch comes to an end as you do some big thinking about who could be with a familiar or a summon, and you realize, oh wait, shit, you have to go wake up Big Boy Lokar.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
Wait.
Oh. Okay, it's your business. Lokar, it's your turn.
How do you wake him up?
Lokar. Hey, Lokar. Buddy.
See him rise. Are you like close or far away?
He's like squatting next to him.
Okay. Oh god. Okay. I think he seems relaxed, like he still like sometimes furrows his brow in his sleep. He seems a lot more relaxed than usual when you wake him up.
I can see why.
But I think the moment he kind of gets from this fugue state of sleep, he is first very confused when he sees Aurora, kind of, I think at first. And then he hears your voice, looks towards you, and
You need
immediately
to make
there.
a wisdom saving throw, please.
Alright. Oh, look at that.
Magrin,
Yep.
please make an opposed wisdom save.
Is this a charmed effect? Am I charmed by his muscles? Do I also want to sleep with him? Let's see.
It comes over you, Lokar, this feeling. An odd feeling. But you you would be able to right this second not lash out.
Yeah, I think you can see like suddenly his body lurches as he sees you, kind of readying a fist. And then you can see him like move his head, like his hand before his eyes to kind of shield his eyes a bit. And he oh my god, because he also sees like Aurora leaning like against the wall here. And yeah, he kind of just I still square like immediately like cage position, kind of move forward on the bed, and look over. Like he looks kind of past you and kind of still having his hand on his like forehead and kind of covering a little bit of his eyes. Mac, that's you, right?
Yeah. Why did you want to? Okay, I get it. Next time I'll be 10 steps away.
Alright. This wasn't normal. It certainly wasn't normal.
What?
Why is Aurora? What is going on?
I mean, she must like you. Or she desperately needed cuddles. I mean, I understand. Listen, you do you. It's your watch. Why are you covering your face? You alright?
I don't know. Looking at you, gave me a weird reaction. It's not, it's kind of like hurting. I can see like he's kind of concentrating in this like slightly meditative state to kind of understand what is happening. It's like something crawling and triggering when I see you. My brain. It's hard to control. Fuck. Just really corruption.
It must be the corruption then, huh?
It's
Yeah, well,
good.
Was fiendish and they repulsed me. Fitting.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe for today, keep your distance just in case.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll be walking over here now, so that you are aware. The alarm spell is still up, so if anything slips by your vision, all of us will know. We'll be notified, we'll be able to defend. Even you were corrupted, affected by this, know that I still have your back.
Surprisingly so.
I should have mentioned, by the way, Magram, that both when the little mouse came in and when the ferret came in, they would have triggered your alarm spell.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So it's been a night of alarms going off, like ringing bells, like bing, ding,
No
ding.
little- Because of the little vermin.
And everyone's like, again! Shut that shit
well,
off!
Alright. Next time I'll make it mental then. Christ. Alright.
Maybe just put it on the doors and windows next time.
Stop
No.
turning on
Lisa-
the
Lisa's
alarm.
just
Mac.
sleeping with the pillow over her face, like kind of pressing it to her face and going.
Well, I mean, the alarm is only mental for him, right? Unless you.
He made it
No, he
audible.
chose
Oh.
the outside alarm.
Oh, I
Totally
see.
audible.
Yeah.
This is the downside of
Cool.
the alarm spell.
Well, good that I am such deep in trauma that I don't wake up.
Yay, trauma.
Yay.
Nay.
Okay, Lokar. Your
Yes.
source of fear excuses himself, and you head down to the lower floor.
Yeah, I think first he's giving a very puzzled look to Aurora. I don't think he is. He doesn't quite get what happened, because he doesn't know that he's like moving that much in sleep, or that it could have helped. I mean, he does, like, after like thinking about for a moment, does realize the connection between like the dream change. So I think it's just like takes a moment for him to kind of like put things in place, and after that he moves down, and kind of makes sure that Magram is out of sight of him.
As you, sorry, it's such an interesting night for everyone. As you move down and away from Aurora, looking over her, you can see her too. Like she has, she's holding the blade, right? Aurora, you're sleeping with the blade.
Yeah, it would be like tied. Yeah, it would be tied to me or something.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You can see that she is also having a troubled sleep, or at least from what your perspective is. After all, troubled sleep is your game. You see that she's also having a dream. Her eyes are moving under her eyelids, and her hand is firmly over on the hilt of Silversong. Aurora, your dream is blurry and distant at this point. The clanging of hammer on anvil. The scene, the last scene that you had in your meditative ritual, is the sound that bothers your sleeping this night. A constant ringing that then obviously gets mixed in with the alarm spell going off. But you dream of the mithril hammer and the black anvil and the sparks flying as the Silversong blade is forged. And you witness its creation. In part. At least the pouring of the molten steel and the hammering of that. And with each clang, you feel like there is knowledge being hammered into you. Lokar.
I think if I see her having trouble sleeping, I think I will move her body into like laying down, so she's basically just taking my spot now. Yeah, just kind of weird having her leaning up the wall with trouble sleeping. It's probably not healthy. And this the sword, right? Can I take a look at it?
Yeah.
Yes, that has like runes and stuff on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything that I recognize?
Oh shit! Yeah, 1 second. Let me just bring up your character sheet.
I did show it to Mag too. He may have recognized him.
Yeah, but Mag and Lokar are two different people with two different histories.
Magram doesn't speak giant too.
Who said they're giant runes?
Nobody, but I've maybe seen. Maybe I might understand it, but I might have seen it before.
Yep. You don't have to roll. You already know.
Okay.
Good. You have heard of these in your tribe. This was like the stories of the elders around the smoking tent, where they would go over legends and where your tribe's strength comes from. The age-old giants that controlled the elements and who used the powers instilled with them through the elemental barrows. Back when worlds were early and young and magic was rife, the giants were master craftsmen that essentially, according to your tribe, built the world. At least that's what the elders tell you. Of course they would. The runes on the blade are in a cursive giant language. You know what cursive means, right?
Yes.
whoever forged this blade would have been done a long time ago. And it would have been done by a giant craftsman.
Probably feel the sword almost, considering not too dissimilar with me. Probably feel. He looks at. That's probably why he looked at it in the first place, and then noticed the feeling from the sword. Sort of connection, and he kind of like sees the runes, sees that they're giant, that's so giant, and he's like, he scoffs a little bit. Of course, he says under his breath, and yeah, then he goes down and goes about his watch.
You notice a couple of things have happened since you fell asleep. Blood splattering and a destroyed basin, stone basin. I should draw that here. Like, this is also gone.
Tiny little things, you know.
Yeah, the door in splinters. The like blood smearing on like the corner here. Yeah, whatever just happened, you certainly didn't wake up from it.
God. He is yeah, he is inspecting. He maybe tries to like kind of put the door frame back in place.
Oh no,
If
it's splinters. It's like it's
Okay.
broken apart. Like you don't know
Great.
who did it, but the door was already pretty fragile on its hinges and held together barely, and it would have taken a pretty heavy kick to like smash it in.
Yeah, he just shakes his head. All right. This is what you have to work with. It's okay. And he is going to do his job, taking a watch. But he will also try to get again like in the meditative state to kind of get a feeling of his corruption and try to. Obviously, it won't help, but he will try to like get more control of it or figure out this worm in his brain.
Sure. So perception. If you're going to be focusing on yourself, let's do that with the disadvantage.
Sure.
And then do a insight check.
Nice show. 17.
Dang, Pepper, what's going on, man?
Yep.
Yep. Your perception is not high enough to notice a little nose peek around the now vacant doorway and look in as you focus on yourself. You get the feeling as you go into a somewhat meditative state. You get an answer that you probably already realized. That something has invaded you. You are not well. Obviously. And you know that as you get a little bit more in touch, you're the kind of guy that knows oneself, and you've done extensive soul searching within your journey.
Yeah.
Something foreign changes to avoid being detected. Like a virus can be taken care of because the symptoms are consistent and can be detected if multiple people have it because, oh, you have the same symptoms as that person. this, whatever this thing is that you have, you gain the insight that it's smart. And is willingly disguising itself. And you get the feeling that now people who could be sick could have various different symptoms and still hold the same corruption that you have named.
Yeah. Yeah, he realizes that this thing like learns what the buttons to push in his brain, in his heart, everywhere, in his eyes, and it's actually terrifying. I think. Don't think he had to fight with himself a lot, but not with something foreign inside of him. And he just kind of just tries his best to almost mentally block this thing. Obviously, he won't succeed, but it's almost just for himself, for his well-being, to kind of feel like he has some power. In this moment, he's just gonna give himself the idea that he has power to move, to prevent this thing from invading too deep.
Make a medicine on yourself as you... internal medicine? Boom.
Just my inspiration. 20.
Nice.
Perfect use of it. I know, right? Who is this man?
I told you guys. Changed.
We're going through changes. Distracted me from what I was thinking. Your personal feelings of like trying to resist against it. In this instance, knowing that you saw Magrim, you said like, why does he like give you this feeling of fear? You recall back to your exhaustion and your eyes situation and how you felt in those instances too. And it's enough for you to start connecting some dots about potentially how to diagnose people with corruption. And you will, if you were to choose to do so, to roll a medicine check with advantage in the pursuit of corruption.
You're right. Thank you.
Anything you want to do?
No, I think he takes like this takes a while. I think the whole watch, he takes probably like 20-minute intervals on like understanding, and then he lets go when he gets frustrated because he knows that doesn't help. Keeps watch again for 5 minutes, another 20-minute interval, and that's probably like at the end of the watch. These ideas come to mind and with understanding.
It's exhausting. So
Yeah.
it's you feel like you need a little bit more time to sleep, but it's time for Nissa to be awoken.
Yes. He notices the time going, and he goes back up and just kind of like rattles Misa a little bit.
What's up?
Fortunately, I think you probably have. I don't know what happened here, so maybe you've not slept at all. But I think it would be now your watch.
I have slept. I've slept a bit, like erratically.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
What I'm surprised, and she gets up, kind of rubbing her eyes, is that you slept through all of the fucking racket, like the alarms, the door, the mouse, the ice, the yells.
I feel like I was hearing a lot of screaming already, so it wasn't really louder than that.
Huh?
Well, since I've been with you, you guys, I have kept on getting the same shitty dream every night, and it seems to.
You did mention it, I think.
Yeah. It's not something I want to talk about, but as it keeps coming up, it stays in my brain even more than it normally does. So.
Yeah, I saw you earlier, like tossing and turning, until, well, Aurora came and tried to calm me
You
down.
just silently did that.
I didn't do anything.
Like, you just walk up and okay, whatever. I mean, it helps though.
You talked to her.
Sure. That's my thing. Well,
Anything happened while I was out? Anything relevant?
how are you feeling about your corruption?
Just pretty normal, I think. Maybe I'm getting better.
He takes a moment for your answers, and then he's like, "Certainly possible."
I just feel like myself. So, how about you?
I'm confident in understanding what I have, and that's something, right?
Yeah, it's better than before, certainly. So, it's a start. Well, I'll get down.
Yeah, and let's keep the destroying to a minimum, all right?
The what? Sorry.
The destroying of stuff to a minimum.
The withdrawing.
Destroying.
Destroying.
Destroying. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
No worries.
I'm.
I thought it was a character.
Yeah. Nisa's just like, huh?
Huh? What?
Like tilting her head like a dog. Huh?
Okay. Loka, your bed is currently occupied by Aurora.
Yeah, I'll take another bed.
Okay, there's like an unused
Kinda-
mattress here.
Yeah, I kind of like, it's a lot smaller than this one, but
Uh-huh. You sort of curl
kind of
up
makes
on it.
do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he doesn't need that much more sleep, so it's gonna be fine.
Fair. Yeah, you sort of like doze out. You do pass out a little bit, but Nissa, perception check, please.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go,
Perception.
team.
Let's perceive.
We
Shit.
We thought.
Amazing.
What do we see? Nothing.
You're too
Uh,
focused on not destroying things.
Maybe
The balance
it's,
must be kept.
the
Okay.
The
So that's where Pepper's Rose went.
Yep.
I mean, you have inspiration too, since you earned it tonight.
Yes. Yes, I'll take that. I'll just roll again.
Okay.
Oh, God,
Perception.
no. It's gonna be worse somehow.
It's negative
No,
one.
it's not. No. It's May.
That's worse.
Yeah.
As you descend, into the lower floor, it is not a sight that you pick up, but a smell. A smell that you have smelt before. A telltaling smell of a certain stinky boy. You don't see him, but you smell him.
Come out. I can smell you. I know you're lurking around. Come out.
Underneath the sofa, from this sort of dirty rag, where Magrum was sleeping, I
Wait,
suppose.
how did he get in? An alarm spell would have been triggered.
That is true.
Yeah,
If he, I guess, walked in.
He poofed in.
That's fair. You got me there, Mr. DM. You got me there.
I guess it's a smart familiar, so he would have when you yanked him in before and he triggered the alarm spell, like he learns, and he
Makes
can
sense.
poof. So yes, a tiny nose peeks out from there, and he's got like bloody like when a kid eats jam, and it's like around their mouth. He pokes his head out from underneath the rag, and he puts his little tiny claw under his chin and regards you. He says, "You been missing me? Been missing you."
Sorry, what was that?
Have you been missing me? I've been missing you.
Oh, Stinky. For the love of all that it's unholy. Why don't you leave me alone?
Oh, I can't do that. Can't do that. No, not at all.
What are you here for?
Well, I'm here for you. Aren't I? Yes, here for you. I've been sent, I'm not going anywhere. You're my special case.
You're stuck with me and I'm stuck with you, let's be honest. Did he send you?
Who else would be? You think I'd be hanging around here and the likes of you and your weird shenanigans and risking my life? Well, that's both my own life to be hanging around with you. I've got far more things to do. I could be relaxing, down there with him. My every whim taken care of. As many girl ferrets as I can handle whenever I want it. But no, it's now to be up here with you and your stinky butt.
Oh, you wound me. Oh, and I thought I was special. Well, I've been thinking. And one, I don't have any more souls for you. Not for now. I will in the future, hopefully, but not now. And two, you can maybe go tell his infernal highness and he can shove his soul demands right up his abyss. I'm not running a delivery service. I'm just trying to get my sister out of hell.
You don't have to tell me this. I mean, I'm just a messenger boy. I'm a conduit between you and him, you see. I've been doing the hard work in the background, taking the souls that you guys have been so eagerly providing.
Did you take any souls back in the arena, Stinky?
Oh, all of them, of course.
Oh, cool, because I was wondering whether they were counting or not. It's good to know that they are.
Well, I mean, a soul is a soul for him, of course. The ones that you provide him, obviously more potent, but he's just one for more souls, and the fact that you're in the vicinity is enough. See, that's my job now. After you made that little pact and you grew to be of this sort of strength using his power, well, someone's gonna do the cleanup, right? If you're not gonna be doing it, well, the amount of bodies that you've left behind. Wow! Amazing, by the way. Just death everywhere. It's freaking hilarious.
Don't sound so happy. People might think it's creepy, you know?
Well, I mean, the blood, the anguish, the pain. Like, it's apparently doing him quite a treat, you see. Now, maybe they're not really all contributing towards your sister. After all, they're not all dying by your hand. But you know, every little bit helps.
Speaking of, do you know anything about my sister? Anything new?
I mean, she's where she is. As far as I'm aware, I'm not allowed to see her, or even aware where she is. But you're going to have to take that up with the big guy. But you're going to have to do some of his deeds if you want to actually meet him.
Okay.
Now.
What does he command?
Well, I mean, he's commanded what he's always commanded. He needs those souls. He needs those delicious, delicious souls. And, well, you've done a good job so far. I mean, certainly hanging around with these others, they certainly, you know, increase the amount of fodder that you've come through. So I'll say, you know, 2 claw thumbs way up. Keep it at it, you know. Stay with them and I'm sure the blood will keep flowing. But then where you are now, there's lots of people in, you know, disused locations. Nobody's going to miss them. And I'm sure that there is nasty folk around here, right? People that need to be put down, put out of their misery, you know. I think you could probably do something about that.
Dinky. I can't do that. You know, normally I would be like, yeah, let's stab some people. But I can't do that. We're about to meet the... I don't know that.
No, not yet.
I can't do that. I can't do that. These people are giving us shelter, and it wouldn't be fair.
All I'm saying is, keep an eye out. The souls need to keep flowing. There's like a lot of fucking shit going on up on the surface, that is for damn sure, and that is great, but you're nowhere near it, so it don't count. So,
yeah,
people around here, I'm sure there's going to be someone that might need a little bit of quote-unquote help, and so maybe that help requires a little bit of over-aggression. Who can know? But look, your sister's not getting out or where she's getting out without some sort of contribution. So sticking clear of anything is going to be like kind of harmful to her case, right? So you want to see her out, right? I want to see her out. I want to see you happy because then I can go home. But, you know, without that, we're stuck together. You and me.
I'll try not. Just let's try not to bother each other so much, because you know, if I get fed up with you, I'm sending you to a petting zoo or whatever. Just take the souls of goats.
Yeah, like puts his little fuzzy chin on his claw and like regards you and say like, hey, it doesn't really work like that, sorry. But hey, there's something that he wants me to give you. And he
What is that?
he crawls out the rest of his body out from underneath the sofa, and stands up on his hind legs, and
Lisa kneels down.
uh-huh. And he starts reaching into his pouch in front. Now I know all the people about nature and ferrets don't have pouches, but this is an infernal ferret.
Yeah. It's a special.
It's a special infernal ferret. And
He has a little fanny pack.
he
Just
has-
read my mind.
He's a mini kangaroo. Actually, it's not ferret.
Like, ferrets have pouches. Ferrets were some.
He has the Amphia. He's fine.
he has an addition given to him by some entity, and he reaches into it, and as you're close by, you can see that his little pouch is similar to the little pouch, the handy haversack that you have, as his hand goes into it far beyond where his little pouch should end from a biological perspective.
Oh.
He has a little infernal.
Marsupial pouch.
Sorry, what?
A handy marsupial pouch.
A handy marsupial pouch, exactly.
Yes.
Write it into D&D Beyond right now. And he pulls out an object that is slightly wider than he is, as his pouch sort of extends to allow it to pop out.
Oh God. Oh.
It's like he goes.
Nisa doesn't help him. She's just watching.
He's straining like he's taking the largest turd. And
God.
and he
So
pulls, reaches into his pouch, takes out a little hanky, wipes his forehead, puts it back in. And he holds in front of him. It's a tiny infernal brazier.
Oh.
And
She takes it in her hands.
Mm-hmm. And it's a little sticky still, but around the edges of the brazier are infernal imps dancing amongst flames, with smiling faces as they torment humans and other creatures with spears and fire. Within
Oh, wow.
the bottom part of it is a tiny drawer that can slide out. And you take a look at it, and within there is strands of incense.
Nisa just
Mhm.
watches it and turns it over, grinning at the torture thing, and going, funny, interesting.
The incense smell is sulfuric.
Ooh. What is this for?
Well, he's under the impression that you could perhaps do with some more help, and if there's all about blood and souls, then I should do more of my part rather than sneaking around and just mopping up your shit. So, he thinks
Excuse you.
that, well, you could use my help a little bit more. So, if you need me, I'm sure you know how. Burn a couple of them bear boys in there, and I'm right there.
And you will help me in battle and stuff?
I will do my best make sure that there's bloodshed, of course. I mean, we have a common goal here. Souls for each of us. Souls for you to rescue your sister. Souls for me to go home, get me some female ferret tail.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's cool. I'll definitely be calling up on you more often. If only just to annoy you, but
Well,
look with me.
I've been through hell more times than you can count, so bring it on, sister.
Tiny fist bump.
Yeah, tiny fist bump. And we're gonna have to leave the episode there.